My name's Edward Fisher. I'm from Perth, Western Australia. Been living in Greece for 12 years now. Moved out here permanently 2003 and going strong. I came out here originally to open a business. I opened the Athens Backpackers, which at the time was the first fully fledged hostel in Athens. What do I think about Greece's short and long-term prospects? As an optimist and a business owner here, I believe that these small factors that affect Greece are affecting the world, and in the fullness of time, Greece will sort itself out and re-level like everything does. I don't think that it's going to potentially become an unlivable city.
My name is Costa Malonas. I'm from Sydney, Australia. I've been going back and forth from Athens and Sydney for the last 15, 16 years, but my latest stint has been 2 years, which I think is now permanent. I don't think I'm going to go back to Sydney. I work for a company called Excite Holidays, who's a B2B travel wholesaler based out of Sydney, Australia, but we have an Athens office, so I'm now based out of Athens office and continuing my role from here. I moved back to Athens in the middle of financial crisis because this is where I'm from, this is where I am. Athens, it's a different city to Sydney. Sydney has a little bit more money, it's a bit more organized, yeah, that's great. But then everything that comes with living here that you only understand if you actually do so, trumps all of that. I'm very optimistic about Greece's future because if anything, we've endured much worse than we're enduring now, and at the end of the day, Greece is Greece. Greece is not going anywhere. We'll be here forever.
My name's Rebecca Hannigan, and I was born in Sydney, Australia, and I've been in Greece for a number of years. I first came in the 90s and probably decided to stay in around 98. Reason being Greek lover, Greek husband. The reason that I prefer living in Greece is that I feel that there's a complacency at times in Australia, and living in a country that has everything and that works like clockwork. The easiness of that, I actually find that difficult, and I prefer to live somewhere that has adventure. Somehow I feel like I'm alive here, and I like that for the children as well. And I think it's a more social. The social aspects of Greece are healthier, I find.
My name is Tia. I'm a Greek Melburnian. I moved here in 2011, went back after 6 months, and then repatriated in 2013, July. When they introduced capital controls was a sense of unity, and that's something that I haven't experienced before in Australia. And leading on from that, that's one of the reasons why I feel so comfortable here, and as if I am in my ecosystem. I never feel alone in Greece. I see the youth of Greece changing, and in the age of information they have access to ideas and creative methods that they never knew of before. I see businesses springing up in the centre of Athens, in Piraeus where I work. And there are a lot of startups here as well. Greece has managed to produce some of the world's most brilliant software engineers. This is big for Greece. It's not broadcasted, it's not exposed, but we know it here. The youth of Greece know it, and ultimately this is what matters, and this is what will lead us to some standard of stability which Greece was once accustomed to.
My name is Bill Georgiousis. I was born in Melbourne, Australia in 1965, which means that I lived a very interesting part of Australian history. When I finished my studies at RMIT, I studied photography. I'm a fashion photographer, which has kind of taken me all over the place. And the idea was, as soon as I was old enough to get out of Australia, to start traveling the world and try to make a career outside of Australia. It was always something that I had in the back of my mind that I'd probably end up in this country, and lo and behold, I did. And the art industry has grown so much in Athens, so it's fantastic. It's a great place to be a young artist. I mean, I'm not just talking about painters, but generally anybody creative, because that scene has grown. It's rubbed off on everything else that's creative around it. But people definitely, it's a bit like a small Berlin. I mean, we keep hearing that, but it is really true. It's still incredibly hard here, but it's probably maybe us getting used to the situation and accepting the way it is and thinking, okay, what can we do from the start and start again and live with the situation and try to improve on it rather than waiting for other people to improve it. That's the big difference. I think the young people who are now getting older and have grown up with this situation, they're building their lives around it rather than thinking that it's just going to get better again by itself, and we're making the difference, I think.
Hi, my name's Irene. I'm a Greek Australian. I've been living in Athens for the last 27 years. I came here in November 1989 on a holiday, and I'm still on the holiday, that's what I say to my friends. I started working as a teacher as soon as I got here, as an English teacher, and after 2 or 3 years I opened up my own school. This is it. It's in Agios Dimitrios. I love my work. My work is my passion, my school is my passion. I don't see myself going back to Melbourne, only if there is a war, God forbid. The crisis has affected all of us here in Athens, in Greece. People have lost their jobs, their salaries have plummeted. It's really terrible for lots of people. Us, to be honest, things have been going well the last 6 or 7 years. The numbers of students have risen, but of course people are finding it hard to pay for their fees, so that's the bad thing. That's what's affected us here. But I have my school, I have 8 teachers working for me, so I can't see myself going back. I'm really happy here. I love Australia. My parents are there, my brother's there, my friends are there, and I go every 2 or 3 years. But life here is more beautiful for me.